Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Naveed Technical Education. Today we are going to cover about Python functions part 2. These are going to be the list of discussions today. Basically we are going to focus more on the inbuilt functions. So I'm going to take you across map function, filter, reduce, how to use enumerate function, how to use sort function, find, split, join, strip, count, and how to make use of the format function. Now coming to the map function. See, the map function basically what it does, it returns your result after applying a given function to the each element of your list or tuple. Okay, so it returns a list of the results after applying the given function to each item of a given iterable. Below is the syntax. Map is the keyword and then followed by a function, and then we have to give the iteration. So iteration here can be a list or a tuple. Now let's have a look at the demo to have a better understanding of this. So let me write a very simple function where I'm going to return the double of each element of a list. So this is my list var1, okay, and I'm having some elements inside that. Let's say 1 2 3 4 5, okay, and then let me write a function. So def f1, and then I'm going to pass the element, so I'm going to take it as n, the argument, then return n plus n. Now I'm going to call the map function. So what the map function will do, it will apply, pass the each function up it will pass the element of this list to this particular function. So let me execute and see. Okay, so okay, I missed one thing, so I need to give list here, and then so as you can see here, I'm getting the value as 2 4 6 8 10. Now how am I getting this? See what exactly is happening. I'm calling this map function. Okay, now this function, I'm inside this map, I'm passing two arguments. First is the name of the function f1, and another is the name of the iteration, which we call it as a var1, which is a list. So basically what I'm doing, each element of this var1 I'm passing as an argument. So 1 is passing to this particular function, and then it is returning 1 plus 1. 2 is getting passed to this f1 function, and then 4 it is the output. So this is what I'm getting, 2 4 6 8 and 10. So can I use the same thing? So let's say I want to uh, now instead of writing this particular function, I can use a lambda as well. So what I can do that, so instead of f1 function, what I can do, I can use a lambda. So lambda x into x plus x. Let me execute the code, and you can see I'm getting the value as 2 4 6 8 10, which is nothing but the sum of each of its elements. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 plus 3 is 6, 4 plus 4 is 8, and 5 plus 5 is 10. And this is what I'm getting here. So just see how much line of code I have reduced it using both the map and the lambda function. Lambda function I have discussed in the part 1. So you can go and have a look at that particular video. So let me give you another example. Let me do one thing. Let me add another list, and I want to put some elements inside that, like say 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me add these two numbers. So how can I do it? X comma y, and then x plus y, and then var1 comma var2. So 6 plus 1, so I'm adding each of the element of the list. So you can see the result will be 7 9 11 13 and 15. So 6 plus 1, okay, is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9, 8 plus 3 is 11, 9 plus 4 is 13, and 5 plus 10 is 15. And this is what I'm getting here, 9 7 9 11 13 and 15. So I can also use my map function for this particular stuff. I hope you have understood. Let's proceed to the filter function. See, the filter function, it returns your result based on evaluation. So evaluation can be true and false. So it first filters the given sequence with the help of a function that tests each element in the sequence to be true or not. Always remember, it is normally used with lambda function to separate your list and tuple or sets. Below is the syntax. So where the keyword filter we have to use along with the function and the sequence. So now let's have a look at the demo to have a better understanding of this. So let me write a list which is having some elements, okay? Or rather I should say equals to range of 10 I will give it, okay? So 0 to 9. Now what I want to do with this particular list is want to find which is an even number, okay? For that what I'm going to use, I'm going to use a filter function, print list filter, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass a lambda function. X is divisible by 2 equals to 0, and then I'm going to pass my list var1. So basically it will print me, it will give me the values of those which are divisible by 2. So as you can see it, only these out of 0 to 9, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10 are divisible by 2. Now if I increase this value to 20, so 0 to 19 it will check. Now you can see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 and 18. So this is what we can do with the filter function. Another one of the example that I will give you, let's say I have a, this is a list, okay, where I have certain elements where I want to print only the element which are not null. Okay, so let me, I have certain print like India is one of the element. Okay, let me give a null element as well, and let me give it as Nepal. Okay, let me give it as a US, and let me give another null value. So you can see as this particular list is having both null and not null values. So this is a null value, this is a null value, and this is a null value. Basically none, nothing is there. This is not an, it doesn't contain any element. Whereas India, Nepal and US, they contain elements. Now my requirement is I want to use the filter function to print only the element which is not null. Okay, like say India, Nepal and US. How can I do that? I can use, I can simply remove this lambda with none, and then I will try to print it. So as you can see here, I am getting the values India, Nepal and US. So this is where your filter function comes very handy. I hope you have understood. Let's move to the reduce function. See, reduce function, what it does, it is used to apply a particular function passed in its argument to all of the list elements that is mentioned in the sequence passed along. Okay. So the function is defined in the functools module. Basically, we have to import a module which we call it as a functool modules to make use of the reduce function. So let's have a look at the demo to have a better understanding of this. So let's say I have a list, var1 is the name of the list, and it had certain elements. Let's say I will give a, no, it's better to give a range function instead of writing all the elements. So let's say range function is there 20. Now what my requirement is, I want to print the sum of all the elements, okay, right from 0 to 19. So how can I do that? I can do this using two methods. First, I can make use of the list map function, where I can do map, and then I have to use something known as lambda function. Lambda x, expression x plus x, comma, var1. So you can see here 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 is there, okay. I can, sorry, x comma y I have to give. So basically what it is doing, it is giving me a, so I cannot do that using a map function. So I'm trying to do it with a map function, but I'm unable to do it. In that case, what I have to do, I have to use something known as, I have to import a library first, import functools, and then using that particular functools, what I have to do, I have to simply remove this part, okay. And then I have to use functools dot reduce, and then what I will do, I will call a simple lambda function x comma y, and then x plus y, okay. So let me see whether it is working with this particular. Yes, you can see 190. So if you calculate the sum of from 0 to 19, it will come 190. Now the same thing I can write it with a map function as well. Okay, so what I have to do, list map, and then what I can do, I have to write a lambda function simply x comma y. Last time I didn't give the function properly, I didn't wrote the lambda function properly, and then var1. Let me see whether it will work or not. No, it is telling one function x comma y is missing. Okay. So x comma x is there, x comma x if I write it. No. Okay, so it's not giving me correctly. So I cannot use the map function here. Sorry about that. I hope you have understood how to use a reduce function. Now, let's say if I want to find which is the largest of this function. Okay, let's say I have a list here, which is having around, 1 is there, 100 is there, 33 is there, 88 is there, 99 is there. Now, out of this, I want to find out which is the largest of this. So how can I do that? So I need to simply make a change in my lambda function. X and Y will remain same. So X, if X is greater than B, else, greater than Y, else Y. Only this change I need to do it. Then out of this, you can see 100 is the largest element of this. So basically, we can use the reduce function for case scenarios like this. Now let me do one thing. Let me show you all the three functions at once. So let me write a range of values of 1 to 10. Okay. So let me write a print list map, and then what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to write a lambda function x into x, okay, comma var 1. So what is going to do for each element, it is going to do a, so 0 0 1 0 into 0 1, 1 into 1 into 2 into 2 is 4, 3 into 3 is 3. Basically it is giving me the multiplication. Okay, it is doing the power of 2. Now let's say on the same list I want to use a filter function. How can I do it? List filter, and I want to find write a small lambda function where I'm going to do a x divisible by 2 equals to 0, and then I'm going to apply it on this particular list. So it will throw me, okay, these are the elements which is divisible by 2. Now coming to how can I write the functools? So functools dot reduce, and then lambda function x comma y. I want to print the sum. Okay, so x plus what happened plus y comma var 1, and let me check. You can see the sum of the all the 0 to 9 is 45. So I hope you have understood how to use a map function, when to use a filter function, and when to use a reduce function. So you can follow this particular example and you can have a better understanding. Okay, so where I have a list of 0 to 9 elements, and then where I am using for map, what is the use case of map, what is the use case of filter, what is the use case of reduce. I'm trying to explain it here. I hope you have all understood. Now let's have a look at the enumerate function. See, the enumerate method, what it does, it adds a counter to an iterable and returns it in the form of an enumerate object. This enumerate object can then be used directly in the for loops or can be converted into a list of tuples using list and method. Below is the syntax where you have to use the keyword enumerate, then give the iterable, and then give the start. Now let's have a look at the demo. Now let's say I have a list, I have a string. So var1 is the name of a string. Hello world, just take an example, hello world. Now what I want to do, I want to add a index to each of these elements. Okay, now since this is a string, so in string doesn't have any index, only list, tuples, okay, sets and dictionary, they have an index. Okay, so let's say I want to add an index to this particular string. How can I do it? I can do it using the enumerate functions. For I, then I will write character in enumerate, and then on which var1, then print I. Okay, so I stand for your index, and then what I will do, let me write a better output like this, and then char. So let me execute it. Now what it is doing, it is adding an index. You can see 0 is added to your H, 1 to E. So basically it is adding a 10 to the D. Okay, even to the space is also considered as an element. It is adding an, which is at position 5. So you can calculate 0, 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. Now let's say there is a requirement where I want to find only those strings which are divisible by 2. So this is my requirement. How can I do it? How can I achieve this? Let me write a list here, an empty list with var2. Now instead of this, what I can do, for I %2, so this is my requirement, and then var2, I'm putting it into another list, append, Now append what? I have to also get what I'm trying to append inside var2. I'm appending the characters, okay, the elements. And then print var2. So let me execute this. Now you can see here, only those elements of this particular string which is divisible by 2 are, I'm putting it into another list. Now let's say if there is a requirement to sort it, I can sort it as well based on, let's say, based on, uh, as if now it is not sorted, I guess. Okay, you can see here it is not sorted. H, L, O is there. So after H, first it will sort in an ascending order, the capital letters, and then the ascending order, the small letters. So what I can do, var2 dot sort, I can do it. So what it will do, it will try sorting it. See, H, W, then it will try to sort in a the small letters, the lowercase d, L, O, R. So this way you can use your enumerate function as well. I hope you have understood this particular example. Now let's have a look at the sort method. See, the sort method, what it does, it sorts the element of a given list in a specific ascending or descending order. By default, it will do it in an ascending order. If you want it in a descending order, you have to follow the below syntax, list.sort, whatever the key is, and then give reverse equals to true. So let's have a look at the demo to have a better understanding of this sort method. So let's say I have a list of integers where 1 is there, okay, where 100 is there, 88 is there, okay, and 3 is there, 2 is there, 6 is there, okay. So my requirement is to sort it in an ascending order. So what I will do, first I will give var1 dot sort and then print var1. So let me execute this. So you can see here I'm getting 1, 2, 3 in a sorted. Now let's say if the requirement is to sort in a descending order, so what I will give, reverse equals to true. Let me execute it, and you can see here 100, 88, 6, 3, 2, 1. So this way we can use the sort method. I hope you have understood. Now let's have a look at the find method. What exactly find method does? See, the find method is first finds the first occurrence or the first index of the specified value. If it returns -1, it means that the value is not found. So let's have a look at the demo to understand this find method. So let me have a string, okay? So var1 is there, which is having a string. Hello, welcome to my world. So this is my string. Now let's say I want to find what is the location, starting index of my welcome. So what I will do, I'll give print var1 dot find. So what I'm finding, welcome. As you can see here, it is finding at the 7th position. 7th is the index. So if you can calculate here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th position is the space, and then 7th position. So it gives you the starting position. Let's say I want to find the value O, okay, the character O. So what I can give here, simply give O, it will find the index 4. Okay, so for O is the at the specified index of 4. Okay, let's say if there are a couple of O's here, okay, here O is also there, here O is O. Let's say I want to find this O. So what I have to give, I have to give 5, 10. Okay, between index 5 and 10. So you can see 5 and 10 -1. Oh, I think O is at 11th position. So let me give 12. So let me execute this. Now you can see O is coming at this particular O is at 11th position. Okay, so in this way you can find it out. Okay, so this way you can use your find function. I hope you have understood. Now let's have a look at the split function. See, the split string, what it does, it split your strings into a list. Okay, so when the max value would specify, the list will contain the specified number of elements plus 1. So this is the syntax, string plus split, and then you give the separator. Okay, now let's have a look at the demo to fully understand the split function. Now let's say I have a string. Okay, string is there, hello world is there. Now what I want to convert, I want to convert this string, this particular string, into a list. So one element will be hello, another element will be world. So what I can do it, I can simply write print var1 dot split, and then on what basis I'm splitting. I'm splitting on the basis of this space. So you can see between these two there is a space. On this space basis I'm splitting. So let me execute it. And you can see here, I'm getting hello as one element, world as one element under this particular list. So this is how we can use it. Okay. So let's say I have another, let's say there is a hash in between. Okay. So let's say there is a hash in between, hash hello world good. So in that case, what I will do, I will print the hash here. Okay. I will use the hash as a split. So you can see here, based on the hash, it is splitting hello, world, and good as three different elements inside a list. Now let's have a look at the join. See, the join method takes all your items in an iterable and joins them into one string. A string must be specified as a separator. So you can have string.join of iterable is your syntax. Now let's have a look at the demo to have a better understanding of this join. Let's say I have a list, okay, where I'm having different, let's say elements like N, A, V, E, E. So this is my name. So as a different elements. Now my requirement is to convert it into a string. Now this list I want to convert into a string. So how can I do it? Print. Okay. Now give none dot join. What I'm trying to join? var1. So let me see. So you can see here I'm able to convert this particular list of elements into a string. Okay. Now let's say I want to convert a list of items with integer types into a string. So how can I do that? So let's say I have a var1 is there. Okay. And then inside this, what I have, let's say, in 11 is there, 12 is there, 20 is there. Okay. Or let's write today's date. Okay. Today's date is 16/08. Now let's say my requirement is to convert this list of items with integer. Now all these are integer, okay, integer types into a string. So how can I do that? Simply I need to write print, then backslash, I will give it, sorry, forward slash dot join. Then I need to convert first into a string because join works on the string, right? Converts into a string of I for I in var1. Okay. And then that's it. So let me execute this. So you can see here, okay, somewhere I made a mistake. Okay, dot join string I for I in var1. Okay, so here it is pointing, it is showing, it is expecting something. Okay, okay. So let me give only 8. Okay, maybe it works like this. So you can see here I'm able to convert this into a date format. Okay, but exactly it is not a date, it is basically a string. It is treating this as a string. Why? Because I've converted this into a string. Okay, so in this format I'm getting it. Okay, so let's say you have a list where you have a different elements and you want to convert into a integer elements you have and you want to convert into a join. Okay, sorry, string. Then in that case you can use it like this. Okay, using the join and then the string functions. I hope you have understood. Now let's have a look at the strip function. See, the strip method basically returns a copy of the string with both leading and trailing characters. It removes based on the string argument pass. So very simple, string.strip, and then you have to give the characters. So let's have a look at the demo to have a better understanding of this strip functionality. So let's say I have a, let's say var1, a string is there, okay, and then I have, let's say I have given I love and then India. Okay, and then there are a couple of spaces there. So I don't want these spaces. Okay, so let's say this is a string I'm having. Okay, so this is my string, but you can see there are a lot of spaces are there. Okay, spaces this and this. I don't want those spaces. Okay, my program logic requires to remove this. How can I do it? So I can simply give print. Okay, var1 dot strip on what basis I'm stripping, and stripping basis of none. Okay, these are treated as a space. So let me execute this. And you can see without the space I'm getting I love India. Okay, also let's say you, instead of a string, what you are having, let's say you have a var2, let's say, which is having a list, sorry, And inside this list, what I'm having hello slash n, and then new line character is there. Okay, world slash n. Now I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want slash n slash one. So what I can do, I can simply write print var2 dot. First, I need to convert this. Okay, simply I cannot use this. So what I need to convert this into a string format. So for that, I will use I dot strip. Okay, and then what I'm stripping the new line character slash n for I in var2. Okay, so let me execute this. So you can see here I'm getting hello and world. So I'm not getting the slash n, which is a new line character in any programming language. Okay, so my requirement is to remove this from these elements. Okay, every element. So in this way, first I need to convert this. Okay, I need to convert this into a list because this is in a list format. I need to convert this into a list. Okay, and then for I in var2. So whenever I'm working with a list, right, I need to use the for loop. So that's the reason. First I'm checking this element for I. The I value points to hello n, and then I'm stripping slash n. Then I'm moving into I values this. Okay, so in this way we can use the strip function. I hope you have understood. Now let's come to the count function. See, the count method, it basically returns the number of elements within the specified value. Syntax is very simple, list.count, and you give the value. Okay, let's have a look at the demo to have a understanding of this. Let's say I have a variable var1 equals to I have a b a b a b b a b a. Okay, so just for the for this particular example, just understand this is a string that I'm having. Now my requirement is I want to calculate how many a b is there. How many a b is there? A b is 1, a b is this is sorry. Let me just undo the paste. So AB1 is there, AB2 is there, AB3 is there, AB4 is there. So 4. So how many ABs are there? So how will I do it? Var1 dot count and then AB. So let me see whether it able to correct the 4. Yeah, you can see 4. 4 is the number of AB is there. Now let me count ABA. So what I will do, simply I will ABA. So how many are there? ABA 1, 2, 1 is there. AB1 is. So 2. Ideally 2 should come. Okay. So let me check. And you can see this is the value of 2. So this is how you can use the count function with your string. Now let's have a look at the last topic of our discussion today is format function. See, the format method, it formats the specific values and insert them inside the strings placeholder. Okay. So the placeholder is defined by your curly brackets. The format method returns the formatted string. Below is the syntax string.format, and then you pass on the value 1 and 2. Let's have a look at the demo to have a good example to have a better understanding of this format function. Now let's say I have two variable, okay, with a string variable and one is an integer variable. So let's say name is there, and let's say my name is there, Naveed, and then age is there, another variable with let's say age equals to 30. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm in different versions, I'm trying to format the string. So print, what I have to do, let's say this is my requirement, print hello. Then what I have to do, plus I have to give it like this, name, then plus, okay, let me give it with a space, that would be better, plus, then I have to give it your age is, then plus, then I have to convert this into a string format, age. Okay, so now if I execute this, sorry, name it should be NA and age should be A caps, so that's the name of my variable. Let me execute it. So you can see here it is coming, hello Naveed, your age is 30. Now see, this is something which we used to write in Python version 2. Python version 2. Okay. Now let's see if we are using Python version, latest Python version 3. How we are going to write the same statement? We are going to use print. Okay. Then we are going to use F. Then hello. Then what we are going to write? Give this your age is, give this, close it, dot format. Format what is? Name, comma, age. Okay. So this is how, oh, you need not have to use this. So let me execute it. So you can see here, hello Naveed, your age is 30. So this is print hello, your age is this, format, name and age. Now this is something which we use it. Now you can see how beautifully we are able to use the format instead of directly writing it like this in Python version before 3. Okay, now in Python 3.6 we can also do it like this with even more custom we can do it. Python 3.6 onwards, what we can do, simply write print. Okay, we need to reuse an F format string. Simply give hello, name, your age is age. Okay, sorry, this has to be capital name. Okay, you can see here in Python 3.6 we can even write it like this. I'm getting the value as well. So if it is even, this is something which F, we call it as a format string. Okay, we are formatting our string. So directly inside the curly brackets, we can pass the variable names, which we cannot do it in Python 3.6 before 3.6. Okay, so format function came into existence from Python 3, which is the latest version. And then from minor version 3.6 onward, we can use the F. Okay, instead of using this format, we can use the F. Also, what we can do, we can directly add and subtract. Okay, we can do the operation on this particular as well. So if I, let's say if I want to add, let's say increase my age. Okay, increase my age, let's say by 2 years. So what I can do, plus 2, I can also do it like this. Okay, so I can even, you can see the age is 32. Okay, hello Naveed, your age is 32. Let me just give a few. Okay, your age is 32. So you can even do the, whatever the some kind of a, you can add the, um, mathematical operation, you can also do it. Okay, I hope through this example I've made you clear about this format function. So from 3 onwards, Python 3, we can use the format, and F, which is also stand for your format function, we can use from 3.6 onwards as well. So that's all from my from the function side. If you have any question, do let me know in the comment section. I'll be very happy to respond. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for further Python programming videos.